Ryobi's new link system verges into the rolling storage and modular storage as well. We'll talk about it. I'm Tim Johnson. You're watching Shop Tool Reviews. Well, here we are in the beginning of 2022. If you're watching this right away, it's like January 3rd, so Happy New Year. Now, we've talked about the Ryobi link system, but we've only talked about it because a couple of months ago, they said, hey, look what we're coming out with. We had a video on it, showed you all the digital imagery, but we didn't have it in hand, and now we have it in hand. And not only do we have some of the wall organizer stuff, we'll get to that here in a moment as well, but also we have some of their new rolling storage stuff or their modular mobile storage stuff. So that's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover the rolling box here as well as two of their other boxes. So let's dive in. Let's take a closer look at these things and see how they may compare to some of the others in the industry. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about the pricing and we'll talk about the warranty and we'll see, hey, is it really something that makes sense for you and does it fit your needs? And we'll talk about our thoughts on it as well. Let's get started. So first up is the Ryobi Link Rolling Tool Box. Now this guy has a 200-pound capacity, also has large 9-inch wheels in the back. These are all obviously plastic centers, but the tread is not plastic. It is actually a rubber. They call it an all-terrain tire. Don't know that you're going to be pulling things out of the mud with it, but anyway, they do have some traction on here, and I do like the large wheels. Number one, I'll show you back here. We love the fact that these wheels protrude outside of the handle. And the reason we like that is when you're pulling this thing upstairs and you have those treads you have to deal with, that keeps the box from actually dragging against the stair and you're actually using the wheels to kind of crawl that up the stairs. That's just one of the small features that we like about that, especially on the wheels. But again, 200-pound capacity on this. And if you're using this outside, which obviously for mobility's sake, you probably are. Whether you're using it in your job outside or just carrying it in and out of the truck or van or garage or what have you, it is IP65 rated. So you're water and dust resistant. You've got a really soft rubber seal around here and you have a raised edge around the box that's going to enable that seal to take place and to make that IP65 compliant. Let's turn this thing around. On the handle side, we really like this as well, that we have a true aluminum slide here. So while the body of the actual box is an impact resistant plastic, what we have right here is aluminum slides, and even the internal slides here on the handle as they go up and down are aluminum as well. They're going to lock in the down position as well as lock in the up position also. Have a simple lock right here. We push that down and that's going to release the handle to come down or to come up. So now again it's locked in the down position. Push the lock and pull that up, and again push the lock and it comes right back down. Obvious here on the lid is that octagonal, let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, yeah, so octagonal approach for the connecting of the boxes, which let me bring a small box over here and we'll kind of take a look at this. So you see the system that's going on here. Now we don't have to slide and lock this like other systems, so I don't have to put it in, slide it in and lock it. You'll see I can drop this straight on, push it down, and it locks into place. Now if I lock my lid here, that's locked in. Now I can push the button to unlock this other box and pull it straight up, and you'll see the blade system here that kind of locks this into place as I push the lock, and these slide out of the way. That enables that to just sit down and lock into place. I don't have to slide it at all. Nice large latches here with the metal ring and the plastic lock. And then you also have a locking place here. If you want to put a padlock on here and lock this, you can do so. Now let's take a look at the size of this. Width, we're looking at a little over 21 inches at the opening. But if you actually look down on the inside of the box, you're at about 20 inches as far as space goes. And opening on the inside is almost 15 inches, like 14 3/4 of an inch. And again, that's going to get a little smaller too, depending on where you're at in the box. As you can see, it's got to have space for the axle of the wheels to go across. And then overall depth in the box, you're looking at about 13 3/4 inches for that as far as height goes. Now you see here on the edges, we can put these single and double bins that kind of lock in place here on the sides, and that goes for either side. So we can put that in either side, and still it's going to seal here. Another cool thing, you see this bit holder right here. So in the top of this lid, which makes total sense, we can release this clip, pull this down, and any of your Ryobi bit organizers, you can pull those out and put them in here. So your Phillips bits, your drill bits, what have you, nice storage right there in the lid, and that's out of the way, and that's usually unused space. So we love to see the use of unused space like that bit holder. And then something else that was kind of cool here, so let me lock this down. Turn this around. Right here on the back of the rolling tool organizer, you see it looks like a little bungee hook. So you have some little indentions there, so you can hook up a bungee cord and whatever you need to do with that, locking that down in a truck or locking something down on the top of the actual bin itself. But pretty cool idea, just another unused space where it's just going to hold that very well and give you an idea of some of the things that you can do outside of just it being a rolling bin organizer. So we also have large side handles to make it easy on carrying this. Again, plastic, impact resistant plastic here, but rubber overmold, so you can hold that very well, very easy to hold, very comfortable in the hand also, and oversized handle. That's not hard to grasp at all. I have larger hands as well, and I'm going to easily fit my hand in there without any problem to grab and pick that up, especially with that 200-pound capacity. You need some nice beefy handles to be able to handle that. And also something else great about this, it is proudly made in the USA with global materials, of course, but right there, I believe in South Carolina, but regardless, Ryobi is trying to expand the manufacturing right here in the USA, and we love to see that. And now we have the medium toolbox. Same large, oversized handle here as we saw on the rolling toolbox. The rubber overmold here make it very easy and comfortable to grab, and again, oversized, so I can easily, even with the largest hands, be able to grab that and carry that. Weight capacity on this is 80 pounds. So the medium box alone is going to have an 80-pound capacity. Open up the large latches here, and we see that same rubber seal here with the raised lip around the box, and that continues all the way around the box, and allowing that to have that IP65 compliant dust and water resistance. You also have the bit holder, bit organizer right here in the lid. Love to see that in this medium box as well. And looking at the size on this, I believe the sizes that Ryobi lists are kind of external dimensions. So I want to give you a better understanding kind of the inside dimensions. I'll pull the bin out there. And so inside dimensions, inside those rails are going to be a little over 19 inches. And as far as depth, or as far as depth this way, width if you will, about 13 3/4 inches inside these rails. You can also put a divider in there if you want to. I don't think they make it, but you could cut you a piece of something probably up to 3/16 of an inch or something to divide that, as well as put these bin organizers on either side or both sides. And by the way, they sell these bins in singles or doubles. And so that'll go on either side also. And as far as depth of the box, right at 7 inches in depth on the internal dimensions. Complete box is made of impact resistant plastic, and also you can see on the lid we have that Ryobi link system right here, which if you can see, it's not just an octagon sitting here. We've got grooves here on this top side that's going to enable these boxes to link together as we just showed. Grab the small box again, and again, we don't have to do any sliding. We just push that down and it locks into place. Push the button, lift it up. Again, set it down on there. It's just like a Lego system. I'm probably not allowed to use that name, but I just did. Anyway, So very simple system as far as how it works, and that sliding lock system, that's pretty cool. But I like the fact that we don't have to slide and lock that. We don't have to flip any latches. It's going to automatically lock into place as those things just kind of come together. Now let's take a look at the smaller box. Pretty much the same thing as the medium box. However, the rolling box had a 200-pound weight capacity. The medium box had an 80-pound capacity. The small, or what they're calling their standard toolbox, only has a 50-pound weight capacity. You would expect that. Of course, the smaller we go, the less weight it's going to carry. And this, you can put bins in. It comes with actually a double bin as well as a single bin. And you'll see here on the bottom or on the base of these bins, they have these little arrows, which is basically half of a diamond. And let me show you here in the bottom of the box, we have all these diamond impregnated in there, so different places where those bins can sit. Now, they're in different dimensions, so they can't just sit anywhere in here. You kind of have to find their way on where they can sit in here, especially for the double bin. But you can put the different bins in here, lock them into place, and close the system, and it holds those into place. Now, it doesn't do that very, very well, as you can see here. So, even though I get them locked into place and close this, it seems that if this thing gets shook around a little bit, that those bins are not going to actually stay in their place very well. So our thought was, well, maybe we could load this thing up, which would be a great idea. Just load this up with bins, and this could be that place for wire terminals, nuts and bolts, different screws and fasteners, different small parts, stuff like that. And this could be kind of your organizer, if you will. But if we take a look and say, okay, well, we'll put a double bin in here, and it seems to line up and hold into place. However, when we go to close that down, that doesn't close because of our bit holder here. And even, by the way, you can remove this. So you can easily remove the lid here. But we still have rails here in the handle. We think that's for two reasons. Number one, to hold these different bits, as well as I think it adds strength to the actual lid overall to probably mitigate any more flex in this. But anyway, the lid will not close with that bin right here. So there is some limitations on where you can put the different bins in here. Now, maybe Ryobi is going to make some maybe shallower bins or something, but that's just something that we noticed that I think they need to do a better job at, is being able to provide a place to put these bins, and also maybe even provide some more information on where these bins should go. But as far as storage, it's still a great little storage container. Just, it's not going to be that, overall organizer for you loaded with bins on this small unit here. You still get the lockability here, so we can put a padlock on it if we needed to. Again, the large oversized latches make that latch very well. And let me show you one more thing that I wasn't crazy about with this, but it's so minute, but it's just something. You're carrying this like a suitcase, which is pretty typical. Once you pull it off your other bins, you're going to carry this around. But if you go to stand this up, you see it doesn't want to stand up. So it will not stand up vertically in this format, if you will, because it doesn't have any feet or anything like that to level this out. Now, again, I know that's small potatoes, but just wanted to point that out so that you knew if you buy this and you go to grab it and set it down this way, it's not going to sit down on its own. It's just going to want to fall forward. But again, most of the time you're probably laying it flat or putting it onto one of the other boxes, or kind of the heartbeat of this whole idea is the Ryobi Link wall mount system, which they're continuing to expand. It's just brand new. And by the way, we'll be doing a complete review on the actual Link wall mount system as well. It definitely integrates with that system as well. So now you can have this mounted on the wall, and that's going to lock onto the wall as well. So You can either stack this together or you can mount your smaller ones on the wall with the Ryobi link system. So several cool ideas on what you can do with this new Ryobi link system. It's great to see Ryobi expanding their presence in not only the DIY sector, but also encroaching into that pro category and into that prosumer level category, if you will. And they're offering something that's a little less money than, say, the truly pro version of these rolling systems, but also offering a lot of the features that the others do as well. So let's talk about pricing. Well, what we're looking at is the rolling tool tote, or the rolling tool storage here, is going to run you about $85. Then the medium bin is going to cost you about $55, and then the small bin is going to run $45. So all in, if you were to buy all three of these, you'd be right at $185 for all three, which is about $100 less than if you bought that truly pro version of this type of system. You'd probably be at the $285 or $300 range. So you are getting some savings in this, and you're still getting a lifetime warranty. Now, is it as tough? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to handle quite as much of the brunt force as some of the others may. But at the same time, if you're not pushing the limits of that day in and day out, then there's no need to have that. Also, the kind of heartbeat of this whole system is this Ryobi link system, and the fact that these are going to work hand in hand with that. In fact, the link system, as you see here, the wall mount, you can hang these different hooks on here, and again, we'll have a review that is specific for this in the coming weeks, but also you can hang these totes on these wall organizers as well, so they'll easily clip in and stay in place and provide a place for these boxes when they're not in use, so they don't have to take up floor space. They can actually hang on the wall. Now, the rolling box is not going to hang on the wall, obviously, but you can park that somewhere. But this medium and small box is going to have the ability to clip in to the wall organizer and hang on the wall as well. So really cool idea. A couple of small negatives were the fact that, on the organizers or on the small tote here, so we weren't crazy about that. We couldn't quite figure out the whole bin organizing system in here, and the fact that it doesn't look like we can kind of put these anywhere and load this place up with all these the different organizers or different bins because of the rail system here and the bit holder. So you can't just load this up with these different bins. We don't think anyway, because right now the only bins they offer is the double wide, as you see here, and the single, as you see here. There's not one with a different height, and therefore it won't go in here, because even if you get the different things to line up in there and kind of secure itself on the floor, once you go to close this down, it's hitting this bit organizer, and even if you remove that, it's hitting on the rail. So we would love to see something, maybe a better idea in that. But that's, again, small potatoes. Just means that you can't use this as a complete bolt organizer or wire terminal organizer, which would be a great idea, but at this time it doesn't look like that can be done with these bins loaded up in here, even though the floor makes it seem like you should. So that was one of the things. The other thing is very small, and that is with this guy here. If you wanted to kind of stand it up like a suitcase, like you'd be carrying a handle and you want to sit it down, it really doesn't want to do that, especially with any weight in it. It's going to fall down. So it doesn't have a foot system, if you will, to make this level out. I don't think that's critical, because probably if you've got this loaded with stuff, you're going to lay it flat anyway. But again, just wanted to point that out for you. And also with the medium kit, it's going to do a lot better because it has a wider base here and will stand up. Not a big thing, but just something we noticed and wanted to point that out. All in all, we like the Ryobi link system, and we like the fact that they've already come out with just a ton of stuff of different hooks and different organizers and different, as you can see, even rolling storage, and we understand it's going to continue to expand. So we'll see these Home Depot shelves get loaded more and more with this link system. And let's face it, anything that we can do to increase our organizational skills without having to have the skills to do it. What does that mean? I'm just meaning anything the tool manufacturer can do to take the thought process out of having to think about how to organize things, that's always going to help, because let's face it, if we're doing any thinking, it's probably how to make more money and not how to better organize my shop, even though we're forced to do that sometimes. So we love seeing the link system help you get organized faster and easier. And is it worth the money? Yeah, I think so. And we're seeing people get more and more mobile, whether you're in construction or even in mechanics. And let's face it, you always got to load up the truck with something to go fix your families, whatever it is. We've all been there. So anyway, check out the Ryobi link system. Also keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you don't mind, would you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already? Have a great day. Have a great year. Keep smiling.